I'm the odd one out in the family for sure. But I think it had a lot to do with moving to Florida, getting into the whole surf skate scene and the music that surrounded that. Ever since I was a little kid, I remember always like in my mom's closet trying on all her clothes. She came to the US from Italy and worked in Midtown in a factory. Eventually opened her own factory in Ridgewood, Queens, which was an area of Queens that had a lot of knitwear factories. When I was 8, my parents moved us to Orlando, Florida. So all of a sudden I was listening to Dead Kennedys and The Cure, and that's when I got my lopsided haircut. And so when I came back and went to public school, junior high in Queens, it was really difficult for me because I did not look like everybody else, and I certainly didn't look like all the other Italian girls. And then in the 90s, I got into the rave scene. It definitely introduced color in my life. The other thing my mom would do, which is kind of crazy, she would actually drive me to Limelight and sit outside in her car and wait for me to be done. It wasn't like I was going there doing drugs. I genuinely liked to go and dance, and I liked the whole dressing up thing. It was like watching a parade. A friend of mine, and he said, I'm working on this thing with Bono, it's top secret, but it's basically a do good fashion thing. And like before he could finish his sentence, I was like, absolutely, I'm there. Mission of Eden is to help increase trade with Africa, and whether that's by their own business or encouraging others to do the same. It's funny now, I probably even shop differently, liking colorful, like Suno, I love those guys, and normally I wouldn't be somebody who wears it, but probably I think having the Eden influence and making those trips, I've really been embracing color. I like the idea of two different styles colliding. It's probably a signature of my wardrobe, where I always wear things that some of my friends are like, what made you think to put that together? There's certain things though I feel like I always go back to, like I love a ruffle. So the dress I'm obsessed with from the brand A Détaché. I've worn it during the day, and you can just go straight out at night with it too. I go in and out of liking fishnets, but I think more so because I just bought these because I love the top part. And the dress is from another favorite designer of mine, Maria Cornejo, Zero. I love this color, any color blue, I'm a big fan of. These are my favorite, I call it Rogan Vintage. He doesn't do them anymore. Rogan army pants. Eden, Suno. This was made in Kenya. It used to have an amazing engraving of a boat, but because I wear it so much, it's no longer there. This is a pretty major statement piece, made in Kenya by a company called Made. I think hair is an accessory. Probably a month from now, this will be a different color. At one point, it was like super white platinum, and then the roots were lavender. I am mindful of my choices. The first trip that I took to Madagascar, in Zambia, and to Uganda, the thing that really struck me were the people. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these little kids came out, and they just kind of sat next to me, and this little kid opened up a book. I gave him a pen, and he wrote his name, Abrams. And then I was like, oh, I wrote my name, and it just we had this cute little exchange back and forth. Being able to go back and then go to Kenya, which is gorgeous. We went to this school called the Beatty School. Through a program that Eden did, they had the kids do drawings, and then they turned the drawings into t-shirt graphics. And a portion of the proceeds went back to help fund improvements in the school, and everyone got uniforms. And in Africa, uniforms are really important because you, in fact, in many cases can't go to school if you don't have a uniform. I wouldn't say that a lot of the people that I met, they were not unhappy. They were perfectly fine living it the way that they live. I mean, yes, there are some people who are in fact sick and not getting medication that we can get, one block away. There's things like that that just shouldn't be happening in the world because there are medicines that exist. It's just they're not getting there. In this world of socially responsible fashion and socially responsible businesses, it becomes a community. So where, particularly in fashion, people used to hold everything close to their chest. If we don't share information, we're not going to help Africa get out of poverty on our own with our little 300 unit order here and there. I just started my own company. It's called Passion Projects Consulting. And so I try to, pick clients and projects that I'm passionate about. Whenever I can mix fashion, do good, and music, then it's perfect.